What if you could wake up Monday morning and not check your work calendar because you didn't need a paycheck anymore? I don't mean winning the lottery. I mean something slow, boring, and insanely effective. When I was 27, I watched a friend quit his job, not with a big exit, not from some startup sale. He simply said, "My dividends pay me more than my job does." At the time, I laughed it off. I was chasing promotions, thinking that was the game. But I was wrong. See, most of us are stuck in what I call the grind loop. Work harder, earn more, spend more, repeat. But the wealthy, they play by different rules. They build systems that pay them, even when they're not working. And one of the smartest systems? Dividend ETFs. Not hyped up meme stocks, not swing trading, just consistently growing income from companies that have paid shareholders for decades, sometimes through recessions, crashes, even global chaos. But let's be real. If you've ever Googled dividend ETFs, you've probably ended up with 14 open tabs, 27 conflicting opinions, and more confusion than clarity. That ends here. In this video, I'm going to break down 9 of the best dividend ETFs available in the US market, distilled, simplified, and ranked for 3 goals: cash flow, growth potential, real-life usability for the everyday investor who wants to buy, hold, and build wealth. These aren't just theoretical picks. I'll also reveal the exact 3 funds I personally hold, why I chose them, and how they work together to build what I call my escape portfolio. So, if you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, tired of trading time for money, and want a strategy that's actually achievable without a finance degree or $1 million in the bank, you're in the right place. Let's start with why dividend ETFs might just be the most underappreciated path to freedom. We've all seen it. The dream posts on Instagram and YouTube. Someone your age sipping coffee in Bali, claiming they're living off dividends while checking their portfolio in a hammock. And let's be honest, it's tempting. The idea that you can click a few buttons, buy the right ETFs, and suddenly have money showing up every month with no effort feels like the ultimate cheat code. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Dividend investing works, but it's not magic, it's math. The fantasy is that you can throw a few $100 into a fund and immediately live off the passive income. The fact is, dividend ETFs won't make you rich overnight, but they can set you free over time if you understand the strategy. Here's why they're different. While most people chase flashy stocks or get burned in day trading, dividend ETFs focus on consistency. They're built from companies with real profits, real track records, and a commitment to rewarding shareholders. And when you reinvest those dividends, you start compounding wealth quietly, relentlessly. Think about this. If you'd invested $10,000 in a solid dividend ETF like SCHD 10 years ago and reinvested every dividend, you'd now be sitting on well over $27,000. That's nearly triple your money, not from hype, but from time, consistency, and income compounding. Most strategies try to win big. Dividend investing wins often. It's not about gambling, it's about graduating from dependency. Because every dividend check, whether it's $10 or $300, is money you didn't trade time for. And that's where the power really lies. It's not just passive income. It's reclaiming your time. It's opening up options, whether that's working less, traveling more, or just sleeping better at night. So if you've ever looked at your paycheck and thought, there has to be more than this, there is. But only if you play the long game. And in the next section, I'm going to introduce you to 9 ETFs that can help you do exactly that. All right, now that we've cut through the hype and understand the real game, let's talk about the tools that can help you win it. These aren't random ticker symbols. Each one of these dividend ETFs plays a specific role in a long-term wealth strategy. Think of them like players on a championship team. Some bring defense, some bring firepower, some bring the steady hands you build everything around. Let's meet the starting lineup. 1. The reliable workhorse, SCHD, Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. If I could only pick one dividend ETF to build around, this might be it. SCHD is built on quality, only including companies that have paid dividends for at least 10 straight years, and then scoring them based on real fundamentals. Cash flow, debt levels, return on equity. That's why it's filled with giants like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, and Verizon. Expense ratio, 0.06%. 10-year annualized return, over 11%. Dividend yield, 3.5% to 4%. It's cheap, it's consistent, and it's been a rock through market storms. This is your portfolio's income anchor. 2. The growth mindset. VIG, Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF. If SCHD is the strong base, VIG is your growth machine. This fund only includes companies that have increased dividends for 10 plus years, but with a twist. It's tilted toward tech and growth sectors. We're talking about companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Broadcom. It's not the highest yielder today, but the magic is in future dividend growth. Expense ratio, 0.05%. Yield, under 2% but steadily rising. 10-year return, over 11.5%. If you're under 40, this ETF could be your compounding engine. 3. The paycheck machine, JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. Want cash flow now? This one's for you. JEPI is built to deliver high monthly income. Using a smart strategy, it owns big, stable stocks and then sells covered calls on them for extra cash. It's like turning your portfolio into a rental property that pays you every month. Yield, 7% to 10%. Monthly payouts. Expense ratio, 0.35%. Total return since inception, approximately 11.8%. It won't soar in bull markets, but it holds its ground during declines. Perfect for investors who want income sooner rather than later. 4. The Simplicity King. VYM, Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF. This is your no-drama, set-it-and-forget-it ETF. VYM focuses on large-cap U.S. companies with above-average dividend yields and keeps it lean with a rock-bottom expense ratio. It's super diversified, filled with household names in finance, healthcare, and consumer staples. Yield, approximately 2.6%. Expense ratio, 0.06%. 10-year return, approximately 9.7%. This fund won't wow you, but it won't scare you either. It's the quiet backbone of many FIRE investors. 5. The Aristocrat Standard, SDY, SPDRS, and P Dividend ETF. You want loyalty? These companies have raised their dividends every year for at least 20 years. That's what SDY delivers, dividend royalty. Yes, it's a bit pricier to hold, but the companies inside it, like Chevron and Kimberly-Clark, have weathered everything from dot-com busts to pandemics. Expense ratio, 0.35%. Yield, approximately 2.8%. Long-term return, 9% plus. This fund is for people who value stability over hype. 6. The Modern Core, DGRO, iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF. Think of DGRO as the bridge between the old guard and the next wave. It targets companies that are starting to grow dividends consistently, not necessarily aristocrats yet, but rising stars. Expense ratio, 0.08%. Yield, approximately 2.3%. 10-year return, 11.5% plus. With top holdings like Microsoft, Apple, and JP Morgan, it's a modern workhorse for younger investors. 7. The Tech Hybrid, FDVEV, Fidelity High Dividend ETF. Now, this one is interesting. FDVV gives you dividend exposure with a huge tilt toward tech. While most dividend funds stick to safe sectors, FDVV dives into Microsoft, Nvidia, and Apple, giving you growth potential and income. Expense ratio, 0.16%. Yield, 3.8%. 5-year return, approximately 15.6%. This is a rare high yield meets high growth combination. A bit riskier, but powerful. 8. The Momentum Mover, RDVY, First Trust Rising Dividend Achievers ETF. RDVY isn't looking at 20-year dividend history. It wants companies growing right now. It filters for stocks with positive earnings and rising dividends over the last 3 and 5 years. Expense ratio, 0.48%. Yield, 1.6%. Return, approximately 12.3% over 10 years. It's growthy, a little more aggressive, and leans heavily into financials and industrials. Perfect for those who want a fast-moving core. 9. The Income Outlier, PFF, iShares Preferred and Income Securities ETF. PFF doesn't buy common stocks. It invests in preferred stocks, a hybrid between stocks and bonds that pay fixed dividends. It's like a bond with some equity upside. Yield, approximately 6.6%. Expense ratio, 0.46%. Drawdown in 2022, minus 8.3%. Heavy in financials and sensitive to interest rates, but if you want steady cash, this can be a unique addition. That's the ninth. But now comes the big question. How do you build a real portfolio out of these? And which three do I, Mike from Golden Goals, actually invest in? And why? That's what we're breaking down next. Now that you've met the 9, let me show you how the real game is played. Most investors make the mistake of trying to pick the best one. They ask, what's the highest yield? What had the best return last year? But smart investors, they build a system, a portfolio where each ETF plays a specific role like pieces in a machine, working toward one goal, replacing your 9-to-5 with steady growing income. Let me show you how I do it with just 3 funds. These are the ones I, Mike from Golden Goals, personally invest in, and they each serve a purpose. SCHD, my income anchor. This is the foundation. It gives me exposure to time-tested companies with real profits, strong balance sheets, and consistent dividends. It doesn't just chase high yield, it rewards strength. This is the ETF that gives me peace of mind. DGRO, my growth engine. DGRO captures companies that are increasing their dividends now. It adds a layer of future upside without getting too speculative. It's growth that pays me, literally. FDVV, my tech kicker? FDVV is the wild card. It delivers strong income, but with that all-important tech exposure. While many dividend ETFs ignore tech, this one leans in. And we all know where the world is heading. Quality, growth, income, diversification. Most importantly, it's a portfolio I can stick with. Because if there's one truth about building passive income, it's that consistency beats intensity every single time. So now you've got a choice. You can go back to chasing job promotions and hoping you'll somehow find time to figure it out later. Or you can start building something right now that grows while you sleep. I don't care if it's $100 or $1,000. You start with what you've got. Because the goal isn't just more money, it's freedom. Freedom to work on your own terms. Freedom to spend time with your family. Freedom to never again check your bank account before saying yes to something you care about. That's what this video is about. Not just ETFs, not just dividends. It's about building a life where your money works for you. So here's what I want you to do next. Drop a comment and tell me which of these ETFs are already in your portfolio or which one you're adding next. You've got the information. Now it's time to take action.